What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers, fellow patrons? It is I, your more phenomenal host, as always, Adam Perez, certainly coming through once again, ladies and gentlemen, for another Boom Studios review. That's right, guys. Early access to our patrons, and then eventually available that weekend following for our regular subscribers and viewers. But guys, today we're continuing in our unlimited power era of Power Rangers here, as we're going to tackle Mighty Morphin issue number 6, coming to us from Ryan Parrott, along with the artist Marco Reno once again, both which continue to impress me, to certainly say the least. This is actually an adventure for the Mighty Morphin storyline that I continue to really enjoy. I thought this particular issue in general had some really great character depth, especially in regards to the Eltarians, along with some of our Rangers in here as well, and a pretty big cliffhanger that has me scratching my head wondering how and what is certainly going to happen certainly going forward, guys. So if you have not had the opportunity to read Mighty Morphin issue number 6, please go ahead and do yourselves a favor and go ahead and pick up your copy. I certainly did yesterday. It was Wednesday. Not only is it hump day on Wednesday, but it's also new comic book day. So I went ahead and picked up my my issue. So if you guys have a local comic book store, certainly go ahead and show your support and pick one up. But if you don't, definitely go ahead and pick up the issue on Comixology.com. You can go ahead and get them digitally as well if you'd like. You can read it on your phone, laptop, tablet, whatever the case certainly may be, but definitely go ahead and support your local comic book store if you certainly can. So spoiler warning for those of you who have not read Mighty Morphin issue number 6, because we're definitely going to get into the nitty gritty of it and certainly break it down and discuss it with you. But again, guys, as always, this is just my A+ opinions. At the end of the day, though, I want to know yours. So let me know your thoughts on Mighty Morphin issue number 6 in the comment section box below after this particular video airs. Guys, let's go ahead and get into this. One of the things that I mentioned at the top, I love the Eltarian storyline that we have in here. Going back a little bit of a flashback, 10,000 years ago, we're continuing to follow along Zordon's history, if you will, rising up the ranks rather reluctantly. It's really not what he certainly wants to do, but his superiors definitely see great things within him, and so they're really pushing him forward in here, and we get the opportunity to see him really in his first command, and I'm assuming in here, working alongside a fellow Eltarian and Zardis. There's so many Z names in here. Sometimes I get a little bit jumbled over my words, so I do apologize in regards to that. But we do quickly see just how there is a little bit of a push and pull, right? Somebody that feels they should have had Zordon's position, but Zordon now has it, even though he reluctantly doesn't want to have it. But I do like the idea that I at least come to realize that, look, you are a great sort of, what does he refer to him as? I think he refers to him as like, a better warrior or something like that. Yeah, he refers to him as a better warrior, so he understands maybe why he wind up actually getting this position for Zordon. And then you also get the opportunity to see here in the panel that we've got showcased on our overlay, just one of the discoveries they find on a moon, and that moon, I don't know if this is actually Earth's moon or not. I think they just say a moon in the A47 galaxy. So if Earth is in A47 galaxy, this is probably the moon, or maybe this is Rita's palace, having, maybe it travels on its own. Maybe it eventually made its way to our moon, but here it's chilling on this moon. So this is probably 10,000 years ago, maybe their first encounter with this castle that, if you're a big Mighty Morphin Power Ranger fan, is quite familiar to you guys. So I thought that was a really cool little tidbit of a reveal here, who Zordon's going to meet when he actually walks inside, because you know they're going to go inside, right? Should be rather interesting. Maybe this will be his first encounter with Rita. Who certainly knows? We'll definitely have to see as the storyline progresses. But I also really love just his encounters in here with Zelia. Also, you know, the Eltarian that came to visit Earth, that was Skull's girlfriend, if you will, finally revealing herself. I love the idea that not only does she join the Power Rangers in battle in here to go ahead and protect them, it's pretty nice to have a Guardians of the Eltar on your team, to certainly say the least. But I just love the conversation and the going down memory lane a little bit for Zordon, right? Keeping him up to date as to what's been going on with Eltar after all these years, realizing that Eltarians are actually living a lot longer than they certainly were before, right? Because Zordon's under the impression that most of the people in his life are probably fully gone at this point. But she brings up the idea that Zardoz is now the supreme guardian over there in Eltar. So it's a really great sort of revelation for Zordon to certainly learn for himself. The idea of like a life festival that they used to have back in the day. It's just nice to see Zordon laughing and smiling and having somebody that he can relate to, that, you know, that's from his world, if you will, right? So I do love seeing just that side of him, and really to see where this storyline is going to go, because it seems as though Zelia has either a message or a request for Zordon from Zardoz himself back at home, but unfortunately she's actually cut off in this issue and doesn't get the opportunity to finish that off. So there's definitely a bigger reason as to why Zelia's certainly here, but I'm really enjoying how she's fitting in and really what she's just bringing to the Zordon character and allowing us to be a little bit more relatable, see a different side of Zordon, if you will. So I've really been enjoying what Ryan Parrott's been doing in that regards. A couple other things in here. One of the things that really took me back, we actually get to see the Power Rangers working alongside the military. You know, the fact that Angel Grove is not being able to be accessed has really caught the eyes of the U.S. government, and they wind up bringing in the military to try and go ahead and bring down the orb over Angel Grove, with no success, unfortunately. So the Rangers in the military wind up having to retreat in here, but you quickly get to see just how desperate, I should say, the U.S. government certainly is in regards to trying to save Angel Grove. The idea of maybe even bringing in nuclear weapons if they absolutely need to, because of the fact that, listen, they don't want no alien race out here trying to take over their world. You know what I mean? So the U.S. government really, I think they said that they've given the Power Rangers, what, like 36, 32 hours or something like that to try and come up with some answers for their own. So yeah, the military has definitely put a timetable for Zordon and his Power Rangers, and I'm kind of curious if we're even going to get to that particular point to see the Power Rangers have to face off against the U.S. military. That would be just crazy in and of itself. But again, I don't think we've ever really seen that aspect before of Power Rangers working alongside the military, but it does add for a really interesting dynamic, and just to see what that relationship is like between an alien entity like Zordon and the Power Rangers, and what the military kind of thinks of them, and maybe even some of their own actions in the meantime too. So some really great tense moments in here, and really great to see how this will eventually turn out for them. You know, one of the other things that really jumped out to me in this issue is a lot of the interpersonal Ranger stuff that we wind up getting. You know, we just talked about it in issue number 5, where we got to see the backstory of Matt and really how he became the brand new Green Ranger. And one of the things that I mentioned at that time when we did the review was, you know, I kind of like the dynamic that this adds of a Green Ranger who used to be a former boyfriend, or at least really close to Kimberly, right? Clearly there was certainly some feelings between these two in the past. So to now have Matt on the team while Tommy is still there, I just immediately was just like, are we going to have some love triangle issues here? Are there going to be some really tense moments between some of our characters? And within one issue, boom, it's already gotten brought up between Tommy and Kimberly. Just that awkwardness that winds up happening, right? The idea that Tommy now kind of doesn't even believe Kimberly, in the sense of her not knowing that Matt was the Green Ranger, right? Like, he keeps probing Kim to maybe think that she's going to falter or trip over her own words, or admit that she was lying this entire time, even though Kimberly has come out several times and said she had no idea that Matt was the Green Ranger. Tommy just doesn't want to accept it, and is that jealousy itch that's just getting to you. You know what I mean? Thinking maybe they're even closer now than they were before. They're keeping secrets, not telling each other, telling me these things. You know, when you're the odd man out, you know, and you have a past relationship with the Pink Ranger, and now her ex is now on the team also, and you're one of her exes. Yeah, man, it's bound to certainly happen, but it didn't take very long at all. But I really did love that scene that we wind up getting in here. And one scene that really jumps out to me, just because it's super relatable to me. There's a great moment in here with Rocky. You know, the idea of the U.S. government nuking Angel Grove to go ahead and really destroy the enemy if they can. really allows our Rangers to be fearful for their own family, right? One, already knowing that Zedd and his minions are inside of Angel Grove. Who knows what they're certainly doing to the people inside of there? That already gives our Rangers a fear and worry about their family. And now a new cast to wind up dropping. So I love the moment in here where we get to see our Rangers talking, and you quickly get to see Rocky's panicking because of the fact that he wind up losing his sister's bottle caps. And no, I know that this is the idea of bottle caps, like I kid you not. When I used to work at the Hyatt Regency out here in Dallas, I used to be a bartender for not too long, maybe about 9 months or so. During that time, and this was years ago, I feel like the idea of bottle cap art was huge back then. And so I used to collect a ton of bottle caps from all the beers that I serve. You know, you clink, you know, taking those caps off and handing them over, sort of thing. I used to love collecting those because I've always wanted to make like a coffee table or end tables with a really cool bottle cap design, you know, glue them on, maybe put a layer of glass over them, just make it look sharp. You know what I mean? So the fact that Rocky is really upset, the fact that he's lost his sister's bottle caps that she's spent years trying to kind of put together, I immediately thought to myself, you know what? I think I lost my damn bottle caps too. But I didn't think many people really out there did that before. You know what I mean? I mean, I had seen it before, but the idea that it pops up in a comic book, I'm like, really? Somebody else? Maybe it was more common than I certainly thought back in the day. But I thought that was pretty neat. And I will say this, you know, Rocky also explains that he has some siblings, because Kim says, I honestly didn't even know you had a sister. And so Rocky explains, I had 2 sisters and 3 brothers, and this is the longest I've gone without seeing them. And the reason why I bring this up, guys, I swear, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I really don't think that I am. I recall last summer, unfortunately due to COVID, Boom Studios wind up having a panel, a comic book panel, I think, to maybe talk about the future for Mighty Morphin, for Power Rangers, even the Time Force graphic novel and things like that, where they introduced like the Black Time Force Ranger and things like that. I remember that there was a huge panel with like Aaron Cahill there. You had Steve Cardenas there. You clearly had Ryan Parrott, a couple of the Boom Studios editors there. And there was one moment in there where they were talking about Rocky, because Steve Cardenas is a big, you know, he's a big comic book fan. He eats this kind of stuff up. And I think he's been rather impressed with what they've been doing in Boom Studios, you know. But one of the things that he revealed about Rocky in that interview was the fact, or in that panel, was the fact that his script, when he first got it as Rocky and you got to see some of Rocky's backstory, Steve Cardenas reveals that, yeah, Rocky actually has siblings. And he brought it up because he was talking about the idea of how bummed he was that they didn't really even get a chance to explore that on the television show before. And that was some tidbits of information that not many people had really known, and neither did Ryan. Ryan Parrott certainly didn't, and neither did the editors. And I swear I recall Ryan saying, I'm so glad you told me about that. I'm going to try and see if I can fit that in there somewhere, or at least try and bring that up, or have it play a part of Rocky's story, and as we learn more about him. And I'm assuming this is where Ryan decided to go ahead and put it in there. So a man of his word, which I think is awesome. The fact that we get to learn a little bit more about Rocky from that sense, I thought was brilliant to go ahead and put it in, especially when a lot of our Rangers are certainly worried about their family and their siblings and things like that. So Ryan Parrott, you're definitely an honorable man for listening to Steve Cardenas, clearly taking notes and allowing us as a Ranger community to even learn more about Rocky, if for some reason they didn't happen to catch that a little round table panel that they wind up having. So I thought that was pretty neat, honestly. And then of course we wind up getting the massive sort of cliffhanger here in regards to just seeing that there's a lot more going on inside this Angel Grove bubble than I think they certainly expected. And it even surprised me. I was trying to figure out, like, why is the Green Ranger even teaming up with these people in particular, right? Like, and it's not even necessarily the Green Ranger, but it's literally like all of Grace Sterling's like Prometheum soldiers and stuff are certainly with them in that sense. So I'm wondering what has happened since the last time the Green Ranger was certainly in that bubble that we saw him till this particular point in time at the very end of the panel. I don't want to ruin it too much. It's a really great splash panel by Marco Arena, but definitely go ahead and check it out if you guys certainly have not done so yet. But guys, listen, really continuing to love Mighty Morphin's side of things for sure. You know, I did have my issues a little bit with the very beginning of Power Rangers, but Ryan Parrott definitely has a storyline in mind for his Power Rangers series, and I feel like over the past 2 issues, and even including the Power Rangers Unlimited one with Astronema, just incredible storytelling that really makes me look forward to both of these series definitely going forward. So I think Boom Studios is doing a fantastic job with this Unlimited Power era for Power Rangers. Is really just kind of blowing off the hinges of, you know, just of storytelling and really where they can go in regards to future Power Rangers seasons that we watched as kids, sort of thing, including them into the storylines and stuff like that, seeing it kind of grow right before our very eyes. Really, really impressive stuff, guys. But listen, at the end of the day, as always, these are just my A+ opinions. I definitely want to go ahead and know yours. What did you guys think about Mighty Morphin issue number 6? Let me know in the live chat or the comment section box below after this video airs. But until next time, guys, we'll definitely keep you up to date. We definitely have a brand new live episode of A+ More Phenomenal this weekend for you guys, as always. And then we'll definitely be back for any other Tokusatsu reviews, Power Ranger news and reviews, along with other Boom Studio comic books that wind up dropping throughout the week. But until next time, guys, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.